If I gave you two options right now, which one would you choose? Option A, work for your money forever, or option B, build a system where you can have your money work for you. Which one would you choose? Because nobody taught me this in school, and I genuinely believe this is the most important thing that you could do with your money. Today, I want to explain investing in the simplest way possible. I'm going to talk about what it is, why we do it, when to do it, who should do it, when to start, and I'll break down some of the actual companies I've invested in and why I've selected those companies. Before we get started, guys, I just want to remind you again that you are rare and loved. Today is mainly going to be about pillar number 5. Make sure to take a deep breath, get your posture right, get mentally right, and let's get right into it. So the first important question that I need to answer is, why invest? So why do people invest? The key message here that I want to tell you guys is that inflation is slowly stealing your money. Now, if you stuff money underneath a mattress for 20 years, you didn't really save that money. You actually lost purchasing powers. That's a word that you may not have heard. Think about it like this. The people in California, they make a ton of money, but their gas is $7 a gallon. Okay, that's purchasing power. So their dollar value of what they can buy is less than ours in Florida, okay? So what investing is fighting inflation. You're building freedom. You get to build optionality, build your retirement, generational wealth, and allow compounding growth, as I spoke about in my second video, to work for you. Simplest way to put it is money is either working for you or you're working for your money. So point number 2 I want to talk about is, what is investing? Investing is simply putting money into assets that you believe will grow or pay you over time. For example, real estate, businesses, stocks, ETFs, bonds, savings accounts that are high yield and they give you annual percentage yield back. It's called APY. What I mainly want to talk to you guys about is going to be stocks. Point number 3, what is a stock? A stock is simply put ownership of a company. When you buy Apple stock, you're buying ownership into that company. Chances are you're probably using an iPhone today, meaning that you gave Apple your money and they gave you a product. And if you buy ownership of that stock or that company, you are now owning a portion of that company. When you buy Starbucks stock, you own a piece of Starbucks. When you buy Nike, you own a tiny piece of Nike. For the 16-year-old in the gym, you're basically becoming a mini business owner. And you're not just buying random numbers on a screen, you're buying actual businesses. Point number 4, who should invest? The answer is almost everyone, but if the conditions are right. A few things I want to talk about that would prevent you from investing. Don't invest if you are drowning in debt, can't pay rent, you have no emergency fund or savings, you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you have credit card debt. If none of those conditions apply to you, then you can literally start today with only $5, and I highly, highly recommend you doing so. $5 today will allow you to start learning the process and getting a feel for being a mini business owner. You don't need to be rich to invest, you just need to start. Point number 5, when should you start? The answer is simple, right now, as early as possible. Again, the best day to plant a tree was yesterday, the second best day is today. As I explained in the second video, compounding is basically growth on growth. So as you water that plant, that tree, every day it gets a little bit bigger from where it already was. A parabola. I can show you guys the equation, I'll leave it up top here. Another example is $100, 10% of that, 110, 10% of that, 121, 10% of that, 130 something, so on and so forth. Key thought here is time matters more than perfection. Point number 6, where do you invest? There are certain platforms that allow you to invest. They're called brokerages. Much as I explained earlier in my previous video, you may go to Wells Fargo, Federal Credit Union, Regions, so on and so forth for a bank. And that bank allows you to store your money with them. Well, a brokerage is the same thing. It's just your investment portfolio. One I personally use, and you can start with $5 free today using my link above, is Robinhood. Robinhood is my favorite so far, though I am biased, it is my first. But you can use Charles Schwab, Fidelity, and any other certified FDIC insured brokerage. I'd highly recommend you start today. Now, once you are on the platform, you need to open up a Roth IRA if you are roughly my age, younger or older, all the way up until 59 and a half. What a Roth IRA is it's simply that is tax deferred. What a Roth IRA is simply an account that has certain tax rules applied to it, different from a 401k and different from a regular brokerage account. When you invest into a 401k, you are doing the same thing that you could be doing today by opening up a Roth IRA. It's just that the 401k is taxed, those investments are taxed under code 401, whereas a Roth is taxed under Roth codes, and a regular individual account is taxed under those tax standards. Topic number 7, how do you pick stocks? There are 5 main questions that you need to ask when choosing or selecting a stock. Number 1, what does the business do? Number 2, is the business growing? Number 3, does the business have a moat? That means brand, technology. Number 4, will it matter in 5 years? Number 5, would you be proud to own this business? You can also buy the team, not just a player. These are called ETFs. Section 8 is once you've selected your stock, how do you actually financially break it down and understand what's going on with that company? Let me show you how I personally think through buying a stock, what I need to do to research it, and how I research it myself. This is not financial advice. I'm simply showing you my thought process. Today, we are using Adobe, for example. The first question, what does the company do? Adobe helps people and businesses create digital content. Examples like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, Lightroom, Acrobat, PDF, illustration. Every time a creator edits a thumbnail, a company designs marketing material, or somebody opens a PDF, there's a good chance Adobe is involved. Adobe sells digital tools to creators and businesses. Question number 2, why do people pay for it? New vocab term to add to your list, recurring revenue. Adobe isn't selling one-time software anymore. They sell subscriptions. So instead of paying for it one time and it disappearing, people pay for it monthly. Recurring revenue is kind of like owning a gym and people paying for their membership monthly. Businesses like this are very easy to predict because you know that people keep coming back to use their service. Predictable money is beautiful for investors. Question number 3, what is their moat? Their competitive advantage. New lingo for you, moat. A moat is basically what protects a business from competitors. For Adobe, brand dominance. Photoshop literally became so dominant that people said, can you Photoshop this? Very powerful branding. The ecosystem for Adobe is in school when we were kids, in high school when we were making PowerPoint and presentation, and even in college. And even in your work and professional careers, people use Adobe. Digital creators use it all the time. Another important thing is that their business model is sticky. People that have used Adobe want to continue using it. They've spent the time to learn the system and they're not going to switch their costs in order to learn something new. It's kind of like switching from an Apple iPhone to an Android after years of using Apple. You're not going to do that. Question number 4, is the business growing? Now this is where you stop thinking emotionally and you start looking at the numbers. More vocab for you guys. Revenue growth. How much money the company brings in. Earnings and profit. How much they actually keep. Subscribers. How many paying users they have. Free cash flow. This is one of my favorites. For the beginners, it's basically cash left over after paying your expenses. A healthy business tends to grow revenue, profit, and cash flow over time. Question number 5, it answers why I personally like Adobe. I know several people that use this business for their businesses. They edit, they Photoshop, they recreate. It is basically for anybody who has any creativity in their mind and they want to use the technology, the iPhone that we have today, to put it online, to publish it. So I think that Adobe helps people integrate with their creative side. And I think that this business model is going to stick around for a lot longer because the elder generation isn't going to switch from using Adobe to trying to use ChatGPT to Photoshop all their stuff. Adobe in itself already has AI tools integrated into its system, Firefly, so on and so forth. And I think that AI will ultimately boost Adobe's revenue growth, profits, their margins, the distance between, their free cash flow over time with the integration of AI. And I don't think that AI will actually take over and replace Adobe. I think that Adobe will grow because of AI. So ultimately, Adobe is not slowing down, it's speeding up. Now that I have my stock, there are some risks that you're gonna have to weigh before you put your hard-earned dollar into that business. There is no perfect investment. You have to consider competition, slower growth, AI disruption, expensive valuation sometimes, recessions that could hurt spending. A key concept you have to understand is you can still overpay for a great business. To wrap it all up for you guys, here is my thesis. I believe humans and businesses will continue to create more digital content. Adobe owns many of the tools creators depend on. Their subscription model creates recurring revenue. Their software is hard to leave. And if AI improves productivity inside Adobe's ecosystem, I think the business could grow continually long term. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But this is how I think. Now that you've selected your stock, we're going to get into topic number 9. And this is the main, biggest mistake that new investors make. What you're going to want to do is try and get rich quick. And that is natural, that is human. But you have to understand, getting wealthy takes time. Time. Can you tell me what you ate for lunch 2 days ago? No. If you really think about it, maybe. But time goes by so fast. And I promise you, in a year from now, your tree will have grown. Wealth is built slowly, then suddenly. So here are a few things that you need to avoid. Panic selling, buying the hype, investing money that you'll need next month, gambling with options, and checking your portfolio 500 times a day. The 10th and final thing, God gave us the responsibility to be stewards of what we have wisely, whether that's your body, your mind, your relationships, or your money. You don't have to become rich overnight, just become disciplined. Start small, learn, stay consistent, much love, and embrace your rarity.
Don't let our love start slipping away. 'Cause the life we've been living gets harder every day.